Hi everyone. So after so long, I'm back to my YouTube channel, and today I'll be presenting you the solutions of my March lunchtime of Code Chef. In the previous contest, I just fall down to Division 3. So that was the incident of, I guess, November 2020. But now, after so long, I'm back to the Code Chef, and now I'll be sharing the solution of my contest. So let's get started. This is the first question. Question is simple. What question says, let me read it for you. We are given that chef has a hard drive of X GB, and we have a friend of chef who will be having n number of movies with S as the size of movie I and R as the rating of movie I. Simple. Now we have to tell the chef the rating he can get best in his X storage drive. Simple. So out of all those movies, we have to tell the movie which can be stored in the drive of chef and has maximum rating. So let me share the solution now. I hope it's visible. Yeah, looks so. So basically, what we did here is I simply put test cases to true. Okay, and now I will read n and x, simply the number of movies chef's friend has, and x the storage in the drive of chef. And now my answer is initialized with 0, and for all values, that's the number of movie in chef's friend's drive, I will read its size and rating. If size is less than equals to the capacity of chef's drive, then I'll store this. Simple. And after this entire loop, I'll print answer and next line. Okay, I will share my template very soon if possible and if you want. Simple. So this question was very easy. Let's move on to the next question. What second question says, turn it. Okay, so we are simply said that chef is playing a game, a very famous NFS game, in which his car is having velocity u, initial velocity, and he is about to take a turn of 90 degree. Now to take turn, his car has to reduce its velocity. Might be the reduction required is 0, but his car need a reduction in velocity from u to v. The brakes in the car of chef has deceleration of a, and the distance from where chef is noticing all this and the point where he has to take the turn is s. So we are simply given initial velocity, final velocity, and the distance at which we have to reduce our velocity to v. Okay, so we have to tell if we can do this or not, chef can do this or not. So simply I'm not sure whether this is the second question or third. Yes, this is the second question, and yes, so I hope the solution is visible to you. What I did, I simply read UVAS, that's initial velocity, final velocity, acceleration, which I'll take as deceleration by taking minus, and S is the distance that I'm to cover while reducing the velocity. So I'll store V square in V2, U square in U2, and take 2AS as the difference. Okay, now if U is equals to V initially, then I know that chef will definitely just maintain its speed, no need to even accelerate or decelerate. He will get his task done. So answer is yes and return. Otherwise, if they are not equal, if u is not equals to v, then I'll check if v2 is less than this, because u2 minus diff is the maximum reduction I can get. That means u2 minus diff is the minimum possible velocity to which I can reach. So if that velocity is more than the velocity required, then I know that not possible. So print no and return. Otherwise, print yes. If you couldn't understand it, I'll recommend you to just replay this. Okay. Simply. Now moving to the third question. Third question says, actually I just covered one part of it because I was feeling that it's getting too hard in the middle of contest, so I just skipped the second part of it. So chef has a sequence, all right, and for an element at index I, he can change ai to ai raised to p. Simple. And what is p? P can be calculated very easily like this. Okay, now we have to help chef to find the minimum number of operations needed to make this sum even. Okay, and we to determine whether it's possible or not. So the solution is quite simple, at least for the first case. Okay, before getting to the solution, I want you to understand that if a sequence has some odd, then to make it even, I need to change the number from odd to even, any single number from odd to even or even to odd. For example, if you want me to explain better, suppose I got some numbers. So I got this number just randomly. Okay, I'm not writing any number. So suppose I got these numbers, and if they all add up to get an odd number, then I know that if any number is even, suppose this is even, and I make it odd, then for sure this sum will turn to even. Okay, you may check, or it's a simple property. Or if this is odd and I make it even, then again it will turn from odd to even. Other case is this sum is already even, so in that case we need not to perform any operation. Simple. Okay, so let's jump to the solution now. What I did here is simply first I read n, okay, the number of elements, then I create a vector and read of size n, okay, initialized with value 0, but because I'm reading the vector, it doesn't make sense to initialize it with some value, but due to some template issue that I resolved in later question, I read a vector v, initialized it, read it, that of size n, and now I am taking some 0. I will traverse through it and store some here. If sum is odd, then I have to do something, okay, else print 0 operations required, and next line and just move out. Okay, that's the case. Now if the sum is not even, then I have to jump here. Okay, so what I'll do, I will see if the solution is possible or not. Okay, I understand that if solution is possible, then only one number will be altered or only one operation will be performed for sure. So solution is not possible initially, it's taking a boolean and going through entire possible values, okay, j, that is from 0 to n, and if that vector is not 0, okay, if some vector is 0, then taking its power doesn't make sense. Okay, so if that vector is not 0, then what I will do, I will just calculate. Okay, so what I will do, I'll have this PO simply. Okay, the power that I should show you, actually I'll store this whole term in P. Okay, so instead of taking P I took PO. Okay, so PO is initially 0, and if seal of this thing is greater than 0, then update my power. Okay, let me make it understand you betterly. What I'll do, I'll consider the case that j, the element at j is not equals to 0, power is initialized with 0, and if seal of this thing is greater than 0, then power will be updated. Okay, and now if power of this element to pow is taken aside and this vector is taken aside, and I took and 1. Now why I took and 1? This means that I want to store the last bit of this Vj and last bit of this number. Okay, now let me explain it. Suppose I got some number with last bit 0, okay, and another number with last bit 1, then it is sure that I am converting an even to odd, or if last bit is 1 and now I'll make it such that last bit gets 0, then I'm making an odd to even. In both cases my answer is possible. So if answer is possible, this means that Vi and 1 and that power of term taking their XOR should be 1, either this case or taking this and 1, this and 1 and taking their XOR. Their XOR should be 1 for sure. Okay, so what I did, I store power, then update power if seal is greater than 0, and took last bit, take its XOR with the last bit of this power term, and if this is 1, then yes, my answer is possible. So possible equals to possible or 1. Note, if I'll write and, this means that everyone should be changeable, but I want any one of it changeable. So if possible at any case, just take or, simple. Okay, and after this loop, if possible print 1 and return, otherwise print -1 and return. I tried my best to explain it to you. If you couldn't explain it, understand it well, then I'll suggest you to revisit it. Moving to the next question. Actually the contest is still going on. Well, yeah, so okay, making the sum even is done. Now dinner by candle. This question is also really simple. What question says that chef is having girlfriend, okay, and at time t equals to 0, he is having only one candle burning or lit. Okay, and at 1 second delay he can make next x candles lit. Simple. Okay, so next x candles will be lit. Okay, and now chef's girlfriend will arrive at 8. Simple. So this is a simple thing that I'll keep on adding candles, but there is a limitation that every candle will burn out or just finish after y seconds, okay, or y units of time. So this means only those candles which are burning for less than y seconds or y unit of times from the arrival of his girlfriend, will be burning. Okay, what we have to do, chef has a girlfriend. The girlfriend will arrive at time A. At time t equals to 0, he has only one candle burning, and he can burn next x candles using a candle every time. Okay, and after y unit of time, every candle just finishes. We have to tell the number of candles that will be burning when the girlfriend of chef arrives. So let me make it easy for you. Suppose I got a line, okay, and at t equals to 0, okay, at the starting of t equals to 0, t equals to 1, t equals to 2, and so on. Suppose here is 9, and here is not 9 actually. Where's my example? Yes. So suppose here is 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. So this is the starting of time, and this is the number of candles burning. Okay, candles burning. Okay, I'm just taking an example. Okay, and suppose I got an example, y is equals to 3, x is equals to 2, and a is equals to 7. Just taking an example. Okay, for this I made this table. Now basically at this time he has one candle burning. Now he can burn two candles every time, so here it will be 3, then 5, and so on. Here I'll have 9, then 11, then 13, and then 15. Okay, now you will say that how about the candles that just burn out? I'll tell you, don't worry. So these are the candles who will burn if no candle die out, but all candles that at time 7, at the time when his girlfriend arrives, and only 7 minus this 3, actually the candle who were burning at this time will definitely be over. Okay, because the candle which was burning at this time, it will burn up to this time, up to this time, and at this time it will just get extended. So at this time he was having some candles which won't burn. So what we will do, we will find this and this, and I reduce from this. Okay, simply. So let's understand the code now. The code is quite simple. The candle question, yeah, burning. So yeah, simple question. So what we got, a, y and x. Okay, if y is greater than x, then only I am to consider the case. Okay, otherwise I know that if y is greater than x, if y is greater than a, this means all candles will be burning for sure, no candle will just extinct. So I will print this one candle that was burning at time t equals to 0, and these are the candles added by chef without matchstick. Okay, so this will be our answer. But if y is not greater than a, then some candles have burnt out. So the candles that were burning at this time minus candles that were burning at this time will be our answer. And next time, now what's the meaning of burning at? Burning at will return that this thing, this table will be returned by burning at. So it will take This simple, A and X. What is X? This difference. Okay, basically it is an AP. Okay, so candles burning at time A, if I started from time t equals to 0 with one candle and adding x candles every time, so I'll get this many candles. So this is the total candles without extinction, and after removing the candles that burn out, I'll get this answer and next time and return. Simple solution. I hope this makes sense to you. Now moving to the next solution, racing. Basically this girl N, okay, and she has x units of energy in his body initially, in her body initially, okay, and now she can either run or take rest. So let me go through the question first very fast. Okay, we'll get three things: R, basically X, R and M. X is the initial energy of girl, okay, this means she can run for x second simply, okay. This is the minutes for which she has to run. See, 1 unit of energy is to run 1 second, but she has to run r minutes, okay, and m is the time she is allowed to complete the race, okay. Now this shouldn't be very hard actually. This is burning candle, yeah. So here, really simple and easy question. I'll read X, R and M, okay. Now time need to rest was taken 0 initially, okay. Now this is the running time. Actually, if that is greater than the energy I have initially or N has initially, then I need some time to rest. Now how much time to take rest? This is the time she has to run, and this is the energy she had already. So for this energy she has to take rest. So this is the time required to take rest. If time need to take rest plus time need to run is less than equals to time allotted to complete the race, then print yes, next line and return. Otherwise print no. Simple. Let me rewind again. We'll simply calculate the time she need to take rest in order to gain energy, okay. So initially the time need was 0, but because she has to run this much of time, and if that is greater than the energy she had, then I have to calculate the time she need more rest, okay. So if time need to take rest plus time need to run is less than equals to time allowed, then yes, otherwise no. Simple question, very simple question actually. The very last question. The question says that there are n students, okay. Suppose you are a hostler and you must be aware of the fact that there is a canteen where all people just make a queue, okay, to take food. So suppose there are n students, okay, in a canteen queue numbered 1 through n, left to right, and the height of ith student is hi, okay, that is given to us. Simple. And we have to tell, okay, the condition is that two students at position I and j can see each other if there is no taller student standing between them, okay. No single taller student is standing between them is the condition for two students to see each other, okay. Now this is the formal statement for same, okay. Now for each I, we have to determine the count of students that has same height and they can see each other. Now because this is the last question, so it's supposed to be a little bit complex, but I get it done. Before showing the solution, let me explain you something. Suppose here are some students, okay. This can be understood easily with an example, but you need a good thinking to understand it really fast, at least relative to me. Everything is relative, okay. Now what I do understand is that this student can see till any large student is not encountered. Okay, note, we have to consider only students with equal height and they have no taller student between them. So here I'll make simple conclusions by understanding it. Simply, I'll traverse to right till any taller student is encountered. Simple. This is observation number 1. So observation number 1. Let me move it somewhere else. Okay, this is the first observation. Second observation is that if any student with equal height or small height is observed, then I will count only the student with equal height. So let me write it here. Observation 2. I will count only students with same height, that is smaller kids are ignored. Okay, and what next observation I can make? You see, if this 2 is visited by me, then I know that all his friends, I am considering the students with same height and having no taller student between them, are friends. Okay, so if 2 is under check, so all his friends, that is all students that he can see and has same height as this one, will be taken as his friends, and I'll mark them visited. So when I visit this and observing it, I'll mark this visited. Okay, so the next observation is observation number 3, that is if any kid is visited or taken in the count of someone's friend, then we understand he will not make any new group. That makes sense, because if he is with this one, then he will only be the friend of the guy who are in this set of non-taller students that with same height. So this is the third observation. I'll suggest you to think about it if you couldn't get it. Now let's come to the solution fast. Okay, this one, not this one. Yeah, then this one. Actually, the last one took some significant time for me to think. Okay, so what I did, simply I read n, and here's the update of that VIR. I'll share the template really soon. So here is h and then n. Okay, h is the height so I name the vector as h, and the size of vector is n. Okay, now here I'll store the result. So vector of integer is the result. Simple. I'll start my observation from first kid, and this is the vector to store visited, initialized with 0 and has size n. Okay, now I will go through entire queue. Okay, and then print my vector simply with space, go to next line and return simple thing. Okay, so now understand what's going on inside this while loop. Okay, so in vi I will store the friends of boy at position I. Okay, ci is the count of friends of boy at position I, and j is the friend that I am taking for inspection. Okay, so actual thing starts here. Okay, in this, so if that I is not visited, only then I will enter into this. Okay, so if I have not visited I, then while j is less than n and height of j is less than equals to I, this means while I am inside the queue, j is the number of student under inspection. Okay, so while j is inside the queue and height of j is not more than height of I, till then I'll go for the friend of this student at position I. Okay, now if height of j is equals to height of I, then this is the friend. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll push this j to the list of friends. Okay, friends of vector, friends of student at position I. I'll mark j as true because j is visited. Simple. And because j is a friend of this group, so it will increase the count of friends. Simple. So this way, for the j that can be the friend, I will update these things and j will move on. Okay, j will keep on increasing every time while j is less than n and height of j is less than equals to height of I. Okay, now this is the case for every I. Okay, now for this current I, what I will do, for every friend of j I will store a friend of j is ci minus 1. You see what ci is? Ci is the count of friends of boy I plus 1, because we are considering the boy I also. Okay, because the student at I is also considered and all his friends are considered, so the number of friends will be ci minus 1, and that is the number of friends of student at j. Simple. And after all this thing I will increase, so while I is less than n, just keep on checking. Okay, and I have written the condition that if that is not visited, only then just do this. Okay, then print vector, so it just simply prints the vector this. Okay, every I separated with space, and next line, so that next answer can also be managed. So I hope this makes sense to you. I actually made it somehow fast, and I was actually very excited after the contest. So I hope this makes sense to you. If you find it good enough, make sure to subscribe my channel and like this video. If you couldn't get it, then repeat the video and subscribe and like. See you next time. Take care. Bye bye.